So now that we have our payroll preferences and also we've set up some defaults for some members, let's walk through how to set up a payroll. So you simply go to your season, go to your concerts, and all these drop down menus, you'll notice we have a payroll option down here at the bottom. So I'm going to go to this one. And you'll immediately see that nothing shows up at first. The reason for that is if it load the entire orchestra, page would load really slow. So it kind of gives you the option if you want to load the entire orchestra, all you have to do is click search, it'll pull everybody in. Or if you want to do it by section, which most people do, you simply select the section that you want and just start with that section like that. So in this example, I've got a really small orchestra just to demo this out. I've got 3 cellos, and you can see I have a section right here. And a couple of things you'll notice is that one, we have a global count right there. What this is doing is it's looking at that concert and it's saying how many services are tied to this. So it's looking at your calendar. In this particular one, we have 8 services tied to it, so it just defaults to 8. This just saves you the trouble of having to go and put 8, 8, 8, 8, in everybody's rate, which is what you're normally going to do. Also, it's one of the musicians I set up for preferences right here. It's showing the preferences and it's already auto calculating some of this stuff. So if you set your preferences up, it'll default to that. So it's pretty easy how to do this. We're going to go through and let's say this person is our principal. So we'd go principal, and notice immediately we have this box, which is going to be our $150 amount for principal, and then it's taking 8 services and it's coming up with $1,200. Let's say this person gets maybe harp cardage. They have a good friend that's a harpist, let's say, for example, and then we're going to add our cardage to that. We talked about our travel per mile. So this is going to be, let's say, a standard rate. Let's say this musician drives 200 miles for a concert and they drove twice. So you notice the calculation is done over here. So it's taking our standard rate of 55.6 cents per mile, and then it's taking multiplying that times 200 and coming up with $111.20, and they drove twice, so it's coming up with that. You notice down here it's auto calculating everything, and then we have our amount here, and then it will also do a amount here and tell us how much money we are paying our cello section. Okay. So the nice thing that this payroll function has is you can do exports. Now, right now, you'll notice that our little export button right here is kind of blanked out, and if I click on it, I get a message. What that's telling me is that, hey, you made some changes to our payroll, so we don't want to export it until you've saved it. We want to make sure that's exactly what you want. So you would simply click the save button. Now that we've saved it, we notice our export shows up correctly, and we would click export, and it's going to throw an export file out here that we would see in an Excel spreadsheet. And I should see, yeah, I have a very small orchestra. Some of these I've already set up. So that's our Excel spreadsheet. Now let's say, for example, you've gone through your payroll and you've messed up. You need to reset something. So anything that I see on the page is what it's going to save. Okay, so what if I want to reset it, I simply click my reset button. That will reset just the section. Click on that. Now you're going to get a message because you're about to delete everything you just did. So it's just making sure that you're okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm going to click OK. And it's going to put everything back to its presets. So I still have my default member here, and everybody else is just set back to the way it was. So that's basically how you do a payroll. In the next video, we're going to do a complicated payroll.